An apparent rift in the so-called special relationship between the US and the UK. US President Donald Trump saying ties between the Western powers are not what they used to be amid a fallout over Washington's recent strikes on Iran. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer had initially refused American access to British bases to attack Iran, but eventually opened them up for, quote, defensive strikes. His initial move drawing Mr. Trump's ire. He called Mr. Starmer's first reaction, quote, very disappointing. With Olly Barratt covering the story for CNN live from London. Olly, how has Mr. Starmer defended his position?
Well, we see the Prime Minister is trying to separate out two different issues, which he says are offensive operations against Iran and defensive operations against Iran. And the Prime Minister has been making the case to MPs and also his cabinet ministers here in London today that he believes that he was right to refuse American permission to use British air bases for the initial strikes against Iran, because he doesn't believe that the case was made, that there was a strong legal basis for those strikes. He also has been making it clear that he doesn't believe there is what he has described as a viable, thought-through plan about exactly what happens next when it comes to the American and Israeli strikes against Iran. That said, once Iran started retaliating, firing drones and missiles towards UK allies' interests across the Middle East region and, of course, towards the RAF base at Cyprus, Keir Starmer believes that actually that was the moment at which it became appropriate for the UK to offer the use of, for example, its air bases in Diego Garcia and RAF Fairford here in the UK to the Americans so that they can target some of the missile launch sites that are being used to strike assets across the Middle East that belong either to the UK, as I say, or its allies. So that is the differentiation that Keir Starmer is trying to make. That has not gone down well with opposition parties, some of them here in the UK, like the Conservatives and Reform, who believe he is harming the special relationship. Government ministers today, despite those comments from President Trump, insisting that the special relationship is in a good place and will endure. But I think it is fair to say that these are some of the most difficult moments in the special relationship for potentially years, certainly the most difficult moments in the personal relationship between President Trump and Prime Minister Starmer, which up to this point has been seen as a very strong personal relationship since both men came into power in their respective countries.
And Olly Barratt explaining that transatlantic tiff, reporting this story for CNN live from London.